Hello, folks. How are you? Okay, let's talk about the movie Animal. Well, you might say it's a tad late, but I think never too late to call a spade or call a spade a shovel. Let's go. Before I start, let's get one thing very clear. This is not a movie review. This explores the ideological world of the movie, and therefore we are going to reveal a lot of spoilers. And so please watch at your own discretion. The fundamental problem I had with this movie was that the lead character Ranu Vijay, he considered himself as the alpha male. Alpha means primary, we know, and so often a leader is called an alpha, termed as alpha, right? So, however, in this movie, the lead character is actually a man child, that is, someone who hasn't reached his teens. Emotionally, the protagonist is still in the school because he keeps reminiscing about his school days. When he speaks to his dad, he reminds him about that time, that how he behaved during his school days, and that hurts the father, of course. And after having grown up, that is physically, that he still pines for the girl he liked when he was in the seventh standard. In a betrothal function, when the old classmates want to sing a song together, he proposes that they sing their school prayer. Even his own classmates are surprised, and some even laugh at this suggestion, rightfully so. So, the man who is being laughed at by his own friends, a few scenes later boasts to the heroine that he is an alpha and claims that an alpha male is better than, well, an ordinary male. There is a strong debate about whether the concept of alpha male exists in human species. We have published a video earlier that argues that there is no such thing as alpha male. It's in Tamil, but if you have time and interest, you can watch it. Okay, let's consider for the argument's sake that alpha male exists. What do you think would be his characteristics? Alpha means first, which actually means primary. In other words, alphas are leaders. The protagonist of this film doesn't appear to demonstrate any leadership qualities. How can someone who is forever trigger happy and thinks killing and violence is the only solution to any problem can be considered as a leader? In fact, he can't even become a half decent army major. He can perhaps become a leader to a mafia gang. And let's get this right, mafia gangs are not alphas. Also, it's a misconception to even think that alphas and violence are interconnected. That is not so even in the animal kingdom where alphas actually exist. Among the chimpanzee, the alpha male are expected to take care of the others and even check their lies to win their trust. Among humans too, this quality is pronounced in the modern era. That is, it may be possible that before 150 years or so, the greatest warrior is considered the greatest leader. But that is not so in today's world. Today, skills and knowledge determines your dominance. Let's face it, the greatest alpha male of the 20th century was actually Mahatma Gandhi. What he achieved in his lifetime cannot be achieved even with hundreds of the guns that are used in the movie. Just picture this. Okay. On the one side, there is Taliban roaming in the streets with their automatic guns. On the other side, the US Army control room where the commander is relaxed in his cushion, sipping beer, watching the same Taliban in his LCD screen, and gently pressing the button to release the drone missile at them. Now, who is the real alpha here? The hero in this movie is like those children who think they are Spider Man, Iron Man, or girl children who think that they are the princess. The same way this hero had heard of the word alpha male somewhere and has started to believe that he is the one, he is an alpha male. I'm not sure if the arrogance of believing that he's alpha male actually drove him to believe that women are inferior to him. Throughout the movie, he thinks he can control women at will. His sisters, his wives, and all other women are treated as inferior to men, at least inferior to him. Another thing, we know that all religious fundamentalists are misogynists and they look at women as no more than baby making machines. He too reels under the same belief. When the lady is walking, he looks at her from behind and says, "You have big pelvis." She turns and asks, "Are you calling me fat?" To which he says, "No, I was trying to say you can carry healthy babies." What? In another scene, when she gets mad at him and then starts shouting, he cuts her out and says, "When did you become like a man? Don't try to be a man." When he's indulged in an extramarital affair, the girl says she loves him, and he asked her to prove it. And how? By licking his shoe. That's his definition of love, where the girl needs to lie at his feet and lick his boots. Another fancy concept in the movie is about the guy's fascination for body hair. Of course, this isn't his fascination alone, but a large number of Indian men are afflicted with this. We might have seen in the old movies or in other places where the hero boasts a big mustache and caresses it proudly and says, "मैं मर्द हूँ चौकरी." What does it mean? You don't have to study better than women. You don't have to achieve more than women. You don't need to contribute to homemaking more than women. All you have to do to show you are better than women is to let the hair grow below your nose, which doesn't actually require any serious effort. It just grows on its own if you let it, right? If I don't shave for a few days and I acquire some kind of privilege. This protagonist too reels under the same ignorance. He sports long beard and long hair, and when his dad undergoes the surgery and they shave his chest hair, this man is distraught. I wanted to shout, "Hey, idiot, that's just a freaking hair." Alas, the same thing happens to him too. He gets shot and undergoes multiple surgeries, and of course, they had to shave his chest hair too, and he becomes mighty upset. The point is, at this stage, he has a failed heart and needs a transplant. His hearing is damaged, he can't hear, and he can't urinate, and he's on catheter. But what upsets him most is that they've shaved his chest. In another scene, he advises the laundry staff not to shave his pubic hair. He says it's natural to grow hair there, so don't meddle with the nature. I wanted to ask him, is your passion for natural things restricted only to body hair? Why not extend it to the extensive medical procedures you're going through? Why not just die instead of getting your heart replaced with some other dead person's? Isn't that going against nature? Above all else, the one thing that got me riled up was the Nazi reference. Of course, in a movie that is misogynistic, violent, chauvinistic, pseudoscientific, the only missing piece is that it pays homage to Hitler. And it does. In Animal, the father of the hero is an industrialist, and their company name is Swastik Industries. And its logo is, of course, it's swastika. Of course, he can't afford to use the same one, but it is kind of straightened. Some might argue that it represents India's ancient symbol of good luck, although it is not, because in the second half, when asked about his logo, the hero does not say it's Indian Hindu religious symbol, but simply says Nazi logo is planted here, whereas ours is straight. In fact, just in case someone doubted it, there is also a scene where the hero does something similar to Nazi salute, that too in front of the logo, if you are going to get into any doubt. But in any case, the Nazi reference fits very well with the movie. Animal also fits in with today's movie trend where blood has to splatter everywhere. So you have to have a bloody violent content for the movie to work. And Animal fits into that trend. Okay. And it is the latest and the greatest in that trend. In fact, there are scenes where we actually see blood splatter all over the room. So the only way men can prove to the world that they are mighty is by indulging in violence to demonstrate that they can solve any problem in the world with violence. Is that what alpha men are supposed to do? It seems so, according to Sandeep Reddy Vanga's characterization. In that process, he actually pushes all the men 100,000 years back. I mean, according to his theory, women are far more evolved, whereas men are still behaving like hunter-gatherers and foragers. Of course, foragers with automatic guns. In conclusion, I would like to tell something to Mr. Vanga. The person you have portrayed in the movie is not an alpha male, sir. I'm sorry. He's just a man child. A kid who hasn't grown out of his school. You just tried to portray a school kid as a great rowdy. That portrayal, due to its technical superiority, has worked and become successful. And hence, congratulations to you for the success. I see from the post-credit scenes that you planned a sequel to this film called Animal Park. I hope at least in the Animal Park, the hero grows into becoming a full-fledged man and accords equal status to women, equal status to rest, and tries his best to prevent violence and become a responsible citizen and human being. Wishing him a happy evolution. Thanks for watching.